Hello and welcome back to my channel, Cards by Melissa Minor. Today I have the April Fold-It Club called Birthday Dog from the Stamps of Life. This set is exclusive to club members, so if you like it, be sure that you sign up. You can click the link down below in the description box, or you can use code MELISSAM on the Stamps of Life website. Now, using my link or my code, it lets the Stamps of Life know that I referred you, and you'll receive 500 bonus points to spend in their online store. All right, let's take a look at the die set that you received. So this is the Birthday Dog Folded die set, and you can make a shaped card, or you can just use this to put on a regular size A2 card or a 5x7 card. So here's a look at the dog, and you get the little pieces to add into the dog, and you also get the little hat. And then you also, each month you get the die set and you also get 2 stencils. Now, as a club member, you also receive 15% off every order that you place on the Stamps of Life website. And this month they also sent a freebie die, but I'll keep that a surprise. So you get the candle stencil, and then you get this stencil, which this is pretty cool. So you can see here, it's kind of like if you were to put the dog on your card, it kind of shows you where you'd put it. And then you can make like this little scene with this stencil. So these are the 2 stencils that you receive in the kit this month. And then, now not this black cardstock, that's mine. I just put that in there. And then I like to store everything in this Totally Tiffany 6x9 storage envelope. I highly recommend these. I love these. These have everything, they just fit perfectly in here. So you can see I put both of my stencils in here. I put my little idea card with, and then I also put my die right in here, so it's ready to go whenever I'm ready to use it. So it's perfect. All right, let's jump in and start making a card. All right, so the first thing I have here is I have this magnetic creative canvas, and the Stamps of Life has this on their website, and I'm using the colored blending brushes. And what I'm doing is I'm using a little bit of the masking tape, and I'm just masking off where the oh my goodness, what are they called? Where the flames are. So I'm masking off where the flames are, and I'm just coloring in the candles here, and I won't do all of this on camera, and I've sped this up just a little bit, but I'm using a little bit of the Pixie ink, and I am just going to color in the candles. Now, the reason that I've masked off the flames is because I want to do those in another color. So the masking tape makes it really easy. So you can see here, I'm going to move that down, and then I'm going to move this down, move these little magnets around, and then I'm going to go on to the next color, and I'm just going to keep on going down, and then I'll go back in just a moment, and then we'll go in with the yellow. So like I said, I'll do most of this off camera, but I just wanted to show you how easy this is using that masking tape. And I didn't use any additional pieces of tape. I just kept moving the same 2 pieces of tape all the way down on my card. All right, so let me move these down one more time. And I think you get the idea here. There we go. Oops, I missed a little spot. So I didn't have that quite covered up, so I'm gonna fix that. I didn't edit out all of my mistakes this time, so you're getting to see everything that I do. So I'm just getting that just a little bit darker on here. And I had that masking tape down just a little too far onto my candle. Okay. So I think you get the idea with the Pixie candles, and so we'll go ahead and we'll move on here. Let me do one more row. There we go. And then now you'll see, oh, I started to do the candles and realized I forgot to move my masking tape up. So let me get just the tops of these candles, and I'll show you how I fixed that mistake here in just a moment. I didn't get too far on there, but I'm going to move this masking tape down and cover the candles this time. My sticky is starting to wear off, so I'm going to use the magnets and just kind of hold the tape in place a little bit. But I'm going in with some lemonade ink now, And I'm just going to get the tops of the candles. So I'm repeating the same process as I did with the candles by moving my tape down and just getting in the spots that I want to. Now, I could have used a smaller brush, I imagine, but I really didn't need to. So now that I have all of that done, I'm going to do a treatment to these candles. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of this Pops of Color, and it's not wanting to come out of the bottle. I had to squeeze it there several times. And this is in the color of Glitter Snowflake, and I use this quite a bit, so that's why I have that big bottle. It just gives it just a real, like a glitter, but you could really just use about anything that you have that has glitter. And I'm just rubbing this across the stencil. You'll notice I did not lift my stencil up. I left my stencil on my cardstock, and I'm just going to smooth this over, and then I'm going to peel it up, and I'm going to take it over to my sink and wash it. I got a little speck there. Let me see if I can get that off. And so you'll see here it's nice and shiny. Now I'm going to set that aside to dry, and you can see the little shine. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but it is really sparkly in person. And then I told you I was going to fix that little mistake where I started blending with on my candles. So I'm just going to add a little lemonade ink all the way around my edges and at the top. And so that way it gives it a little color, but then it also hides that little mistake that I made with getting a little yellow at the top. So I thought this was a perfect way, and it also gives it a little more color. So now that I have my background piece done, I'm going to bring in a 5x7 piece of lemonade cardstock, and I'm going to mat this on here. And this is about, in this white card panel, it's just about 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around. And I'm just going to glue this down. And so now I have my card panel ready to go, and we can start working on the birthday dog. But I love that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so for the birthday dog, let me wipe off my workspace here. I did have quite a bit of ink on that. All right, so for the birthday dog, what I've done is I've taken the larger outline die and I've cut that out of a piece of Storm cardstock. That's the darker gray. And then I've also cut several panels of the dog out of Cloud. I've cut it out of Powdered Sugar, and I've cut it out of Lemonade. And then you'll also see that I've taken some smaller pieces and cut it out of Pixie and some of the Glitter Paper A 8-pack, which is more of like that purple glitter. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this white dog as my layering piece. Now, one thing that you could also do is you could also use the Kiss Cut pad and cut out all the pieces and use the Kiss Cut pad to see where all the pieces go. But I thought this was an easy alternative to just lay the white piece down and then layer all my additional panels over top. So you do need to do some paper piecing on this one, and it's very simple, and you can see here I'm just taking my scissors and just snipping off the little chads. So I do want to get that dog loose, so I'm cutting away the birthday cake from the dog because I want my dog in that light gray, that cloud color. And so I have the dog, and I do want to put some ink on the dog. Now there is one little piece of the dog right here, this little bitty piece that I'm snipping. I think that's a little piece of the dog, and so I want to make sure that I also get that little piece because it's like the table is in front of the dog, and I think that's part of the dog. All right, so I'm going to get back out my ink, and I've got my Cloud ink here, and this one is not very juicy. So I'm going to pull in my larger ink pad. I do need to re-ink that smaller one, so I'll be sure to do that. But I'm just going to bring in this larger ink pad here, and yeah, you see big difference. So I'm going to go ahead and put some Cloud ink all the way around on this dog. I'm going to go around the outside edges, and then to get like the inside portion, like underneath his chin and inside of his ears and underneath his legs and stuff, if you just bring in like a little scrap piece of paper and place it into the little openings, it will allow you to get some ink inside those little places. So that way it doesn't look so flat. It gives it a little more dimension. So I'm taking my piece of scrap paper and I'm just placing it inside his legs, like I said, and under his chin and all those different little places just to put a little more ink on the body of the dog. One more little place here. And there, can you see? It just gave him so much more dimension by adding that ink. And then I'm also putting it on that little bitty tiny piece because I want to make sure it matches the rest of the dog. Okay, so let me wipe off my work surface here. I don't want to get ink on everything. I'm just wiping it off with a paper towel. So I'm going to bring back in my panel and I am going to go ahead and glue on my cloud dog right over top of my white dog. And so I think that looks good. And then I'm going to use this little pickup tool here and put a little glue down and get this little tiny piece that I think is the dog, and we'll glue that on here too. Perfect. Okay, so now that I have that done, I want to go ahead and put the little spots onto the dog. And you can see here I've already cut those out, and those are in my little tray. And on the actual dies there, you can snip these off. I could have snipped these off and cut these out, but there's actually little dies. There's separate dies included where you can cut these out separately. So that's nice. So I went ahead and ran these through my die cut machine separately. So I have all the little spots, and then the nose, I cut these out of some black cardstock. So that was super easy for the spots in the nose. So you can make those any color that you'd like. And so there we go. And now I'm going to start working on the cake. So for the cake, I want to use several different colors, and I want to make my cake, I want to use lemonade. So I have a lemonade piece here. And, you know, I've got all these extra pieces, and I'm just going to put them back in my tray, and I'm going to store them in my envelope because when I'm ready to make another card, I'll have all these pieces already, and I can grab from what I have and use these pieces again. So I'm going to take a couple pieces here and just kind of lay them on the cake. I want 2 layers of yellow. I think that'll look nice. I want to keep my table white. And then you can see here I cut this, another one of the pieces of cake out of this glitter cardstock. So on the website, this is called Glitter Paper Pack A. A as an apple. That's how it's named. But to me, this looked like the Pixie cardstock. And so I really like purple and yellow together. And since I used purple and yellow for the candles, I wanted this to match. And so I'm going to make my cake this purple and yellow. And for the glitter, I thought it'd be really pretty. I've been having so much fun using like the glitter cardstock and the shiny cardstock, the foil cardstock, like all the specialty cardstocks. I'm really into those right now, so I can't help but use them, especially on this card. I got to put a little glitter on there. All right, so I have the top layer of my cake on here. I've got all my layers of my cake. And now I need to, let's see here, I've got these all adjusted. So this was super easy. Did you see how fast this came together? Not hard at all. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to color in those candles. Now, you could have cut these apart and colored them on if you weren't super confident that you could color here without going out of the lines, but I thought I could probably do this. So I'm just grabbing one of my tri-blend markers, and I'm not doing any fancy coloring or shading. I'm just putting a little color down. And so I'm going to color these in a purple shade here. So let me get these colored up. And so I've got all 3 candles colored. And then for the candles, for the flame, I'm using this, I think it's gold yellow blend. And so I'm going to go ahead and color in the flames here, the tops of the candles, sticking with our purple and yellow. And so there we go. That was super easy. Let me add just a little bit of the light here to lighten that up. And then the next thing I want to do here is I want to do something a little bit different. I want to give the dog a collar. And so I've cut, this is like the head. So you see, like this is actually, I just used a little piece of scrap and cut out the head. So I'm going to cut the head off here. And then I'm just going to cut along this little, like the collar line. And I'm just going to cut a little thin piece. And that's how you make a collar. That easy. So there wasn't a die for this, but it's super easy to do. Let me snip this off. I got it a little uneven. And I can't take the credit for making this collar. I did see it. I did see this idea on the Stamps of Life fan page. And I apologize, I can't remember who it was, but someone had posted a card and they had a collar, and I thought that was the cutest thing ever. So, of course, I had to make one. And so I think it was Elle. I think her name's Elle that had it. So it was super cute. And then this I'm taking, on hers, I think she had a heart on the collar, but I wanted a dog bone. And so I had these little like shaker bits that I picked up at a scrapbook convention. And I'm using one of those. It's like a little, I think they're like clay pieces, and it's in the shape of a dog bone. I think it's probably hard to see on camera, but it's a little dog bone. Isn't that cute? And then I took a little pen and I traced around where the eyes and the mouth are. And now I'm just gluing the hat together. And for the hat, I cut it out of Pixie cardstock. And again, that glitter cardstock. And then I've taken a happy birthday die. And I am going to go ahead and put some glue on here. Again, staying with the lemonade and the glitter. And I'm going to adhere the happy birthday sentiment on here. And so now I have all of my pieces ready to go, and we are ready to assemble our card. So I'm hoping that dog bone stays attached there. I didn't give that glue very long. Now you can see here, it doesn't quite fit exactly on a 5x7 card when we have it portrait. Now, if I would have had it landscape, yes, it would fit on there perfectly. But the candles are portrait, and so I wanted it to go in the portrait orientation. So I'm okay with it hanging off the edge, and I'm going to cut off a little bit of the dog's tail and a little bit of the table. But if you place the dog the other direction, like you could use the little scene stencil, and the whole dog would fit on there. You could also use the dog to make a shape card, and that's what its original intention is for, is to actually make it a shaped card. But you know, we can all do different things, and so this is just a different idea for you. And I really like the look of this 5x7 card. You know, so many times I make the A2 size cards, but when I look at this, it's just so big, and I really, really like it. So I'm really excited to send this out. I have so many friends with birthdays in April, and so I think this is going to be perfect. All right, so we have the card put together. I'm going to turn this over and snip off, like I said, the little bit of the tail and a little bit of the side of the table. And this little tail is just giving me kind of fits here. It's not wanting to cut exactly. This is my first time using these scissors, and it's kind of like snagging a little bit on there. These scissors are great for precision cutting, but they don't really cut super thick things. And this is several layers of cardstock here. I've got like 4 layers, and so I didn't want to cut that. So I'm bringing in the 5x7 stripe card die set, and that is what I used to cut my card base, so that it was perfect. And so I used that to cut my card base. So now I use the powdered sugar cardstock. So now I have my card base ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on here. And I'm going to adhere my card front panel onto my card base. And there we go. So if you have enjoyed this video, I hope you will give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Or do you make 5x7 cards? And if you are new here, I hope you will come back and subscribe and watch more videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!